Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are doing our Express Pilates class, but we're going to be doing a little bit of an athletic flow. So this will be an intermediate class with beginner and advanced variations, so suitable for everybody. It'll just be a little bit quicker than usual, and we will try in this half an hour to get in as much of our Pilates exercises as we can for a full body workout. So we'll start at the back of our mat, our feet in our parallel position underneath our sits bones. That's the same width as your cheekbones. From here, I'd like you to lift your arms nice and high. Take a bit of a look up. And then exhale, just bring them down. Inhale, we'll lift them up. And exhale, just bring them down. One more time. Inhale, lift, hold at the top and just reach over to your right hand side and just circle that right arm, just get that rotator cuff warmed up, rotate the other way, and then we're going to lift all the way up and over to the left, same thing, a little bit of a rotation, and rotate the other way. From here, coming all the way back down to our centre, and we're just going to start with a little bit of a chair squat. So we're going to come all the way down, just lift the arms up and exhale. So inhale and exhale, where possible, keeping that belly underneath. We don't want to pop the bottom back and back up. If the arms are too much, we're just going to come here, making sure we're activating the glutes. So we don't have to do the arms if we don't want to. Feel free if you do. We're going to hold at the bottom and just do a few little pulses. Make sure you're engaging those bottom muscles. Hold there. And let's just lift one foot up. It could just be the heel. Maybe you want to balance and lift the foot up completely, your choice. And then we'll try the other side, lift the heel. And maybe you want to balance, replace down, stand all the way back up, and then from here take your left leg forward, just coming into a slight lunge. We've bent that front knee. From here we're going to do our disassociation. We have done this before. You're going to try and bring the foot in and take it out again, without moving the body too much. It's all about just moving that one part of the body, that right leg. Keeping belly in. Sometimes I like to put my hand on my tummy, just to make sure that I'm engaging the correct muscles. Hold the leg out, and we're going to give it a little bit of a lift and a tap down. If you want, for beginner, you could just try and hold here. Easier is stood up a little bit more, harder is coming down a little bit further. From here we're going to try our John Travolta. We have done this again. We're going to tap middle, front, middle, side, middle, back, middle, side. So you're tapping all 3 points, keeping that belly in. So it's all about that disassociation. It's all about just being able to move that one part of your body. We'll hold the leg to the back. We'll try and bend the knee and stand all the way back up. Bring that knee to the front and do just a few little pulses here at the front. And replace that foot, give it a little bit of a shake out. And then we'll take the left leg back. Same thing, in and out with that leg. Slight bend in that front knee. A little bit harder is a little bit lower. Again, keeping back in neutral, or if you want a supported spine, you're just tucking under ever so slightly. I tend to tuck under a little bit too much, and that's just to protect my back. But if you're happy in a neutral, feel free. From here, we're going to try that John Travolta a little bit. We're going to go forward, middle, side, middle, back. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten the lift and lower. Having a little bit of a tap. Holding at the back. We will try that lift and lower. If you want to go a little bit deeper, feel free. If you want to just balance, again, feel free. Let's bend that knee, bring it all the way up, try and stand tall. And then just give that a little bit of a pulse at the top. And replace that foot. Give it a little bit of a wiggle. From here, we'll stay near the front of our mat and we'll do our roll down, chin down, pelvis under. Slowly roll down. A little bit of a wiggle. Taking some nice deep breaths. If you need to bend the knees to be able to put your hands on the floor, feel free, but we're going to put the hands down, step one leg back, then the other into our high plank. If you need to, knees come down. And you can hold here in your modified plank, and you can just rock back and forth a little bit. But if you're in your high plank like me, you're just going to rock back and forth, do a little bit of leg pull here. Just stretching out those legs. Hold, and then we're going to do our pounce. So you're going to bend the knees, come back, and pounce forward. If you're on your knees, we're just coming forward and back. Same movement, belly nice and high. We're not sinking down. We're just warming those legs up. Getting that heart rate lifted. Holding in that plank. If you're on your knees, just hold. And we're going to try and lift and lower our right leg. And then switch to the left. And then bring the knees down, push into your rest position. Big breaths in and out. And just take some time to slow that heart rate slightly. Perfect. Coming round onto the bottom. And we will start some of our centre exercises. From here we're going to just roll down for me. Just set yourself up on your mat where you're comfortable. Feet on the floor, knees bent. And to begin with, we always do our pelvic tilt. So imagining that pelvis is a clock. 6 o'clock belly button, 12 o'clock groin. Pushing down to 6, arching up to 12. And it's just that pelvis moving. Rocking back and forth. And when you're ready, you're going to come into your neutral, which is halfway between the two. You've got a slight gap under that back. And then from here, we're going to start with some of our tummy exercises. We're going to look at our series of 5. And with this being an athletic flow, I'm not going to take a gap in between, but if at any point you need to replace your head or you want to keep your head down and just replace your feet for a bit, feel free. Hug your left leg into your chest, right leg to the ceiling, and it could have a slight bend. It could be 45, or head and shoulders could be lifted, your choice. We inhale, switch legs. Exhale, switch legs. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Main thing here is that back is pushed down to our 6 o'clock position. And remember, you can break at any time. Hook both knees in. Inhale, take both legs out. Exhale, hook them in. If you want, these legs could be going to the ceiling. More advanced, arms are coming back and hugging in. We go out and in. Shoulders stay lifted. If they are off the mat, Last one. Hook both knees in. Let's extend our left leg. Take hold behind the thigh. Right leg 45 or just off the floor. Feeling flexible, we grab onto that thigh or the ankle. We pull back twice gently as we inhale. And then scissor the legs, switch, exhale. So inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Thing to be mindful of here, we're pulsing the leg back towards us. We're not pulling the body up to the leg. So just be mindful there. Bring both legs to the ceiling. Interlink your fingers behind the back of your head. Inhale, we lower the legs, no lower than 45. Exhale, they lift up. Inhale, down. Exhale up. Remember, I would rather you do a centimetre, a little movement, and keep that back stable than drop too low. Last one, legs in tabletop, we are nearly there. Inhale, twist the upper back to your right. Left leg extends. Exhale, middle. Inhale, left, right leg extends. Exhale, middle. So we're just switching. Nice and slow. The knee that is in tabletop stays there. It does not come closer to that body. Last one. Hug those knees in, replace that head if lifted, and just rock side to side for me. Beautiful. From there, we're going to do one more centre exercise. We're going to do 100. So options, feet on the floor, hands lifted. We could have legs to ceiling, 45, they could be in tabletop, our head could be lifted, your choice. I'm going for a 45 today. And remember, you can decrease intensity as needed. But we're going to start to pump the arms up and down and take a big breath in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 10 and in and out. 20 in and out. 30 in and out. Keep that back on the floor. In and out. We're on 50. In and out. 60 in and out. 70 in and out. 80 in and out. You're nearly there. 90 in and out. 100 hold and replace back down. Give that back a little bit of a wobble side to side. Perfect. We're going to turn onto our right hand side now. We're going to come into some of our leg series. We're going to use our arm as a pillow. This bottom leg here could be bent, knee at the front of the mat, foot near the bottom, or it could be tagged to the front corner of that mat, slight bend in the knee. Top leg nice and straight, but we have got a little micro bend in that knee just so we're working into that thigh. Waistline is lifted, so we've got our tummy muscles working, my hips are stacked. From here we're going to lift and lower that top leg. Remember, it's not about height. It's about keeping stability. So go about 80% of where you think you can get your leg. Let's hold at the top and do some circles about the size of a tennis ball. And circle the opposite way. Lower that leg in line with the body, flex the foot if you can. Exhale forward, point, inhale back. We're going no further than the centre of our mat. And if the point and flex of the foot is too much, feel free to take it out, there's no problem. Nearly there, one more. Hold in the centre of the mat and then just take it a little bit further back. Make sure you haven't popped the ribs. Lift and lower that leg there, so really getting into that glute. Top leg on bottom leg, we're going to bend the knees and bring them up, feet at the front of the mat as well, as if you're sat on a chair, so think 90 degrees. Make sure those knees are on top of one another, and we're going to just lift and lower the top leg, knee and foot at the same time. For want of a better way of describing it, think dog having a wee up a lamppost. We're just lifting that leg, cocking that leg up. But we are being mindful, we are not tilting that pelvis back. Great way to check is every time that knee comes down, is it in line? Hold the leg at the top, just bring the foot down to tap the other foot, lift it back up, tap the knee down, lift it back up. So a little bit of a seesaw motion, nice and slow to begin. Getting into some of those deep rotation muscles. And then we're going to make that movement a little bit smaller but a little bit quicker. So we're going to go tap, 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 tap. Hold that leg high, flex the foot, extend the leg out in front of you, little lifts and lowers. We are nearly done. Make sure you don't tilt that pelvis, we're lifting with that thigh. And releasing there, give that bottom a tap. We're going to change sides. So we're going to set ourselves back up. Arm as a pillow, bottom leg could be bent near the front of the mat, foot near the bottom, or the leg could be at the front corner, slight bend. Top leg straight but with a little micro bend. We make sure the thigh's facing forward and we lift and lower. Again, 80% of where you think you need to be. Hold the leg at the top and circle. Circle the opposite way. Sometimes it's good to take a little check down that body. Are we still stacked? Leg in line with that hip, flex the foot. Forward, we exhale, point, inhale, back to straight. Forward and back. Hold that leg straight down the mat, take it to the back corner, making sure we haven't popped the ribs, and we lift and lower, really getting into that bottom. Top leg on bottom leg, we bring the knees up and the feet, we make sure those knees are in line, we're sitting on our little pretend chair. Now we're going to lift and lower that top leg and foot at the same time, making sure we're not tilting the pelvis, because if you tilt the pelvis you're not going to feel this in your leg, and we want to make sure we feel this in the leg. Hold at the top, tap the feet down, lift, tap the knee down, lift, tap and tap. And then we make it a little bit smaller but a little bit quicker. Hold the leg up, flex the foot, extend the leg, little lifts and lowers here. And release, give that bottom a little bit of a tap, coming onto your hands and knees. Now, as we're doing an athletic flow today, unfortunately, that means a few press-ups. Now, if you want to be a superstar and do a full press-up, be my guest. I'm going to do modified. We're going to do 2, maybe 3 styles of press-ups here, but remember, we don't want to arch that back. We want to keep that tummy up. So if at any point you think, oh, my wrists or my elbows aren't up to this, you could just hold a modified plank or hold a plank if you've got any elbow issues. So hands underneath the shoulders, the elbows are going to be coming back towards the body. Remember, we're producing the chest to the floor, we're not producing the head. So we're going to come down for 3, up for 1. 1, 2, 3, and lift. Inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. We're going to drop down for 2, hold, little pulses, little inch up and down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push up, open those hands the width of the mat. I'm going to have to come off my mat slightly because it's just a little bit too narrow. We're now going to have the elbows coming out more to 45 again. Down for 3, up for 1. Inhale, 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 exhale. 1, 2, 3, and lift. 1, 2, 3, and lift. Trying to keep the belly lifted. Last one, hold on the second little pulse and there, up and down. Little pulses, a little inch, feel that in your back. And release. Last one here, if you're doing a full press up, feel free to come on your knees. We're going to make a little bit of a triangle on the mat, so thumb together, first finger together. Elbows are still coming at more of a 45, but it's really going to hit the back of your arms. So we're going to come down for 3, up for 1, it won't be as deep. 1, 2, 3, and lift. 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, same thing, hold on the second. 1, 2, hold, little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up and over, rest position. And just take some nice deep breaths in and out. Perfect. From there, we're going to come and do some of our stretches. So we're going to take our left leg forward to the front of the mat, bend the knee, make sure knees over ankle, and we're just holding this lovely stretch. Coming into that hip flexor a bit. Now be careful here, we haven't done what I like to call a Kim Kardashian or a Nicki Minaj. We haven't just shoved our bottom out and we've arched our back. It's very easy to do that, especially if you're getting more flexible. Think about tucking the pelvis under slightly. And as soon as you tuck the pelvis under, so we haven't got this dip down, you're actually going to feel it in this back leg. So for those who are flexible, sometimes it's very easy, especially if you do dance or gymnastics. I see this a lot with my rehab clients, is they just arch it down like this, which is great, but then you get this little bend in the back. So push the pelvis under, you're going to feel it in that hip flexor more. Okay, now we want to sink down a bit lower if you can. You can lean forward and put your hands on the floor and then sink that hip lower. And the reason this is better is because we're actually resting our body on that leg. So the back's got a little bit of support. From there, take the bottom back so it's over that knee, not too far back. Lengthen that front leg. If you need to be lifted, not a problem. Now, if you've got any hip or knee issues, you might want to give this next one a miss. And I always say the same thing, if ever there's anything in a class that somebody isn't sure about, just contact me. I can give you a variation if you let me know which one you're struggling with. Perfect, we're coming into our pigeon. Bend that front leg, that left leg. Take the left foot over in front of the right knee, not too far over, it needs to be directly in front. Slowly walk the hands forward and bring that left knee behind the left hand and gently slide the right leg back We're going to take a quick peek at our pelvis. We haven't dropped down to one side. We want to be dead centre. And you should be feeling this in your bottom, maybe the outer or inner thigh. If this is feeling good, maybe you want to come down onto your forearms. And just hold there and get a nice stretch. Beginner, intermediate, feel free to stay here. More advanced, if you're wanting to get a stretch into your quad, your thigh at the back, you can put your left hand in front, take your right hand behind and just grab that foot. And if you want to, you can give it a little bit of a wee pull in. And again, don't just sink that back down. Think about curling the pelvis under slightly, just to protect the bottom of that back. And release. Pushing back up, hands and knees. We're going to go for the right leg now. So the right leg comes forward. We make sure we haven't just sunken down too much. We're going to tuck that pelvis to really feel it in that hip flexor. That's also going to give us a little bit of stability while we're in this position. If you want to, feeling flexible, you can come down to sink a little bit lower. Take the bottom back so it's over the knee, lengthening that front leg. Maybe you want to be lifted, maybe you would like to come down. Remember, I've always got a bit of a C curve in my back. I don't hinge from the hips. Feeling that lovely stretch down the back of the leg. Beautiful. A couple more seconds here. And then we're going to bend that right knee. Take the right foot over in front of the left knee. Sole of the foot is facing over. And we're going to walk the hands forward. Right knee behind right wrist. And we gently push back. Again, mindful, we haven't tilted the pelvis to one side. We're not arching the back. We're making sure we've got that centre connected. Wanting a bit more of a stretch, you could come down onto your forearms. If you want to stretch out the quad at the back, we're going to keep the right hand forward, take the left hand behind, grab that foot. Remember, we're tucking pelvis under slightly to feel that hip flexor a bit more as we're pulling the leg in. And release, coming onto hands and knees. 4-point tabletop here. Hands under shoulder, knees under hips. We're going to do some of our cat stretch. So exhale round, pushing the shirt up to the ceiling, head, pelvis tuck under. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. Exhale, we round. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. We come into our flat back. We're going to do an elephant stretch here, so fingers nice and wide. If you've got any ankle issues, toe issues, feel free just to stand up. Take one leg back, then the other into our full plank. We're going to lift our bottom, pike up nice and high, roll over. Think tailbone up to the ceiling. Maybe you have a bend in your knee. Not a problem. If you want to, you could start to pedal one foot down then the other. Feeling flexible, we can do both. Just feeling that nice stretch. We're just going to do a little bit of arabesque and attitude here just to open the hips. So we're going to lift the right leg nice and high. We're going to open the hips to the right for our arabesque. Attitude, we're just bending the knee. A little bit of balance work. Rotating pelvis round, replacing the foot. Other side, left leg lifts. Opening to arabesque. Bending the knee for that little bit of attitude. And rotating round, replacing the foot. Gently, mindfully walking the hands back in towards the feet, bending the knees, rolling up, rearranging clothing where needed at the top. From here, we're back in our parallel position. We will finish with just a few stretches for the upper body. We're going to have the arms in front. Open the arms to the side, take a peek over your right shoulder and close to the front. Again, open, peek over the other shoulder, close to the front. Just release those arms, a bit of a roll down here, chin down, pelvis under, slowly rolling down. Do we feel like we've lengthened? From there, tucking pelvis, slowly rolling all the way back up. Restacking at the top. A few shoulder rolls here. And then we'll finish just with a couple of neck stretches. So from here, we're going to imagine that we're in a box. We're going to look at the left-hand corner of our box, that left-hand crease. Take the hand, place it at the back of the head and just bring the chin down. We're not moving the upper back, it's just the head. And release, look at that right crease in that box, right hand behind the back of the head, bringing the chin down. And release. And then just one or two more shoulder rolls. And you are done. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I look forward to seeing you soon.